Welcome back to Master Your Ash. Tonight, we will be smoking the Espinosa Knuckle Sandwich 57 cigar. The third year in a row that Guy Fieri has celebrated his birthday with a cigar. 57 to mark Guy Fieri turning 57. It is a 5 3/4, I just took off the foot band, 5 3/4 by 55 ring gauge Robusto Gordo with the oval box press at the midway point between a round cigar and a full box press. The size is actually the exact same size as the 55, which was the first birthday cigar in 2023. The one from last year was a 6 by 56, all three in an oval box press. The price is set at $16 per cigar, so $160, box of 10. Blend remains the same. So San Andres wrapper, binder and fillers are Nicaraguan. And I let this hit about 62 on the dry box before lighting it up tonight. Off of the initial lighting, there definitely is a nice syrupy-like molasses sweetness that you can kind of get off the back end. Spice off the retro and on the palate with a nice oak kind of cedar spice going on. Like I said, dry box this for an extra little bit. Cigar Carpenter was nice enough to send this out to me along with an Opus Dubai. You all saw the review on the Padron 50th anniversary Maduro. This is part of the same pack. So this has been hanging out for about a month now. He was kind enough to make sure that I had the Padron 50th in the Maduro size, this Knuckle Sandwich 57 along with an Opus Dubai, and also a Cavalier limited edition from last year. So he's been making sure to keep me abreast to make sure that I have all the cigars that I haven't reviewed yet. Shout out to Cigar Carpenter for, keeping us engaged and making sure that we can still get these reviews out. I really appreciate it, Mike. Spice off the retro hell, 7 or an 8 out of 10. Damn near stings the nostrils. It's very spicy on the retro, but also probably just as spicy on the palate with that cedar kind of oak spice. Syrupy sweetness on the back end here helps to balance everything out, which I really like. Leather chocolate right off the start. We'll see if maybe we get some depth in character, some more complexity, maybe some raisin or some plum, something along those lines, because there's definitely that funkiness. Thoroughly enjoying it so far. I'm going to smoke this down. We'll be back about 5-10 minutes with the first third. Smoking on down the first third of our Knuckle Sandwich by Espinosa and Guy Fieri. 57 has settled in really nicely. That syrup sweetness coming to the forefront. Nice spice, both on the retro and on the palate still. More restrained, a little bit easier on the blend itself. Not as overwhelming and as overbearing as when we had the initial lighting. The first third really settles in nicely. I don't recall the 56 being as spicy. This one definitely has a little bit more ferocity up front. Very good burn line to this cigar, as to be expected with all of the ovals from San Latano, as they've been making them for so long. But overall, off to a good start. I'm liking the flavors. Hoping that we continue and only get better from here. I'll be back as we hit the middle or the midway point and the second third. Smoking on down our Espinosa Knuckle Sandwich 57, and just finished up the second third. About to enter into the final third right now. Second third was a little more of the same from what we got off of the initial first third, along with a lot less spice, which was very, very nice. A little bit more of that syrupy sweetness coming in the form of a rich molasses, almost brown sugar note. Chocolate, roasted, nutty components, all really picking up as far as flavors and just creating a really nice blend. There's a little tiny hint of florality too off of the retro hail that I really like. Developed a little bit more earthy tones to it, kind of like an umami flavoring to it, almost like a peat vegetal moss as well. This particular cigar is going to go really well with a lot of the peaty scotches that are out there, and we'll save that for the pairings once we come back. But I think this is going to be a really nice cigar to pair up with a whole bunch of stuff. A slight rum raisin component, but we never really dove into like too much plum, too much raisin. I'm going to smoke this down about another maybe 10-15 minutes till we get about midway through the final third and almost at the nub, and I will be back with my overall impression and a pairing recommendation. Just finishing up our Espinosa Knuckle Sandwich 57. In the final third now, the spice, the chalkiness, the minerality have picked up quite significantly, unfortunately, and the cigar is letting me know that it's about time to set this one down. So the first third, final third, not exactly being as desirable as in the 56, which made not only our best cigars mid-year, but also made an appearance for the best cigars. I believe it made an appearance. I'm going to double check that stat right now. As memory serves me correctly, it did receive an honorable mention. It took part in both lists last year. I don't believe that the 57 is going to have enough in the tank in order to do it. So for those of you that scored the 56, definitely enjoy that. For those of you that like the overall vibe with the knuckle sandwich, I think this is a good one to pick up just to try out, see how it ages. I mean, it's only a couple of months old, as they were released in February / the end of January of this year. Time will definitely help marry this blend, make it a little bit better overall. I feel like it's going to go great with your peaty scotches, as I mentioned before, some of those more esoteric bourbons and agave spirits, especially the agave spirits with that extra sweetness. Thank you all so much for liking, commenting, subscribing, continuing to grow the community. Sorry that it's taken a little while in between episodes. I promise that I'll always try to at least contribute 2 every single week as the weather warms up here in Vegas and work also it doesn't get too hectic. But thank you all so much for liking, commenting, subscribing, continuing to grow the community. Cigars Unbanded is the live stream channel. The boys and I are on there every single week. Even if one of us can't make it, you always have a good group to smoke your cigars from Small Batch. They are the official providers of Cigars Unbanded. 1 cigar every single week in the pack. Look forward to seeing you at the Cigars Unbanded live stream. Thank you once again, and I look forward to catching you for another Espinosa Knuckle Sandwich cigar review.